Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Ned Bellavance, Ned1313 on Twitter, and welcome to the Daily Check-In for July 1st, 2020. So happy July, everybody. It's the 1st of July. That's exciting. And for one particular reason, it's very exciting. For those who don't know, the Microsoft MVP program is an appreciation program that's run by Microsoft. And you have to be nominated for it and be awarded. And I was lucky enough to be awarded it 4 years ago. And I have been re upped for yet another year officially today. So this is renewal day for anyone who's an existing MVP. You find out July 1st if you're renewed, and I'm renewed. So happy days. That's exciting. Probably the best thing that's going to happen today, I'm assuming. So that's awesome. Super pumped about that. Today's topic is HPE, Hewlett Packard Enterprise, GreenLake, and Esmeralda. Esmeralda. It's mysterious. It's almost like Esmerald or Emerald, but it's not, because they decide, there's this whole other conversation we should probably have about the fact that copyright is a thing and trademarks are a thing. But that's probably not a good topic for today. But that's what I'm going to talk about today. Before we do that, I just want to check in and see how you're doing. Are you a Microsoft MVP suddenly? That would be exciting. So if you are, congratulations. If not, and you're interested in the program, ping me. Let me know. It takes an existing MVP to nominate a new MVP. If you think you might be doing something that Microsoft would be interested in and want to award you the MVP award, let me know and I could potentially nominate you. That's exciting stuff. So that's all I got for the check-in. Let's talk about Hewlett Packard Enterprise and what they're doing with GreenLake and Esmeralda. So last week was HPE's big, well, not quite as big this time, but this is like their conference, HPE Discover. And at Discover, they announced a new service that they're calling Esmeralda, and it interacts with GreenLake and Pointnext. So that's a lot of terminology I just threw out there. Let me break down what these things are and what HPE is hoping to do with these programs. Now, I used to work for a VAR, a value-added reseller, that was an HPE Platinum partner, so I got to know their portfolio pretty well. GreenLake, when I initially became aware of it, I thought it was just like their rebranding of their financing arm for Hewlett Packard Enterprise. The idea that, if you want to lease your equipment rather than buy it, we have financing available, and GreenLake is our financing arm of the operation. That's what I thought it was. And it's a little bit more than that. It's actually a lot more than that. What they're trying to do with GreenLake is create a cloud-like service for on-prem hardware. What I mean by that is, what do you love about the cloud? Well, you love that it has a portal you can just go to and spin up stuff. If you want to buy hardware from HPE or any of the major companies out there, you either have to go to a VAR, a value-added reseller, or a much bigger reseller like CDW and buy that equipment, and it's usually a cumbersome process. It's a little bit annoying, especially if you're buying it through a VAR, because they have to bring in HPE and size it, and there's negotiations and contracts and a lot of friction in that purchasing process. Whereas with the cloud, you log in, you enter some credit card information, and boom, you can spin up services. That's it. Now, at the enterprise level, there might be enterprise agreements and stuff, but basically, like, consuming the cloud is very simple. Consuming on-prem hardware is somewhat difficult. GreenLake's trying to break that down by allowing you to go to a portal, order hardware from HPE, have their Pointnext consulting team come and install it in your data center, and it's build pay as you go on demand. The rollout is faster because they have pre-configured sizes for the hardware. So it's not going to be as customizable as you might have done through a VAR before, where you design every aspect of the server. It's basically, small, medium, large. It's t-shirt sizes. If whatever solution fits your needs, that's the one you pick, and it's quick for them to ship because they already have this pre-configured thing. Pointnext comes out and installs it for you, and if you need more capacity, you just go in the portal and you ask for more capacity. And because it's all managed through HPE software, you should get like this sort of single pane of glass view of what's going on in terms of your HPE GreenLake stuff. Now, that management layer can get pretty complicated, and just delivering hardware is not enough to be a cloud. It's nice, don't get me wrong. I'm excited about the idea that I can just go to a portal and get some HPE gear and I don't have to deal with this whole cumbersome process and it's all pay as you go. That part's nice. I really do appreciate that. But there's this other aspect to cloud. What's great about the cloud is all of these services that exist. It's not like you just get a bare metal server when you go to Azure or AWS. They also have these more advanced services. So HPE is thinking, man, we have the ability to roll out this hardware, but we need to have a value add here. Just because we're rolling out the hardware, now someone has to provision operating systems and hypervisors and VMs on it. That's a pain. What if we had something that was higher up in the stack? Something like Ezmeral is their solution to that. So now I can give you the hardware, and now I'm going to offer services on top of that hardware. And what do these services look like? Well, they have a bunch of them with Ezmeral, and I'm assuming this is still in that consumption cloud model. It was a little cloudy on exactly how you consume Ezmeral, and it has a bunch of different flavors. So part of this is actually them trying to rationalize their portfolio of software products. So they already had things like OneView, which is a product they've been developing forever for their blade systems and their next generation type systems. The next other thing was InfoSight, and I believe they got that from an acquisition of one of the storage companies. So they have that as well. SimpliVity? Maybe that's right. Anyway, doesn't matter. So they are putting those under the IT automation umbrella within Ezmeral. And then they also have a cost control component, and that cost control was from a previous acquisition of, it was like Cloud Cruiser or something. That was basically monitoring clouds and giving you cost analysis. On the security side, they bought a company called Skytail that unifies authentication. And so that is their security offering. What's more interesting to me is the stuff that it appears they built in-house, which is a container platform they're calling the Ezmeral Container Platform. It's 100% upstream Kubernetes, but it's a management layer on top of that that allows you to do multi-cluster management and deployment. So it's managing the clusters for you, multiples of those clusters in multiple different locations. And that's a very active environment right now. A lot of people are looking to rationalize what they're doing with Kubernetes and put it under a management umbrella. Now, what it can actually do from a container management standpoint, I don't know. I would have to dig in a lot more. Can it provision new clusters and clouds? Can it manage AKS as well as IaaS deployments of Kubernetes? I have no idea. How does it handle networking? Does it do service mesh? Like, there's a lot of questions here about what it's actually capable of doing. And I'll get back to that in one moment, but I want to list the last thing here that they talk about, which is an AI and ML analytics play where it creates ML ops and data fabric. That's a little confusing exactly what that means. People throw around the word fabric sometimes, and you're like, what do you mean data fabric? I tried to read through some of the marketing materials, and I will say that I got lost immediately because they were just using an overwhelming number of buzzwords to describe what this offering does without actually telling me what it does. Now, ideally, what I would want it to do is if I want to do some sort of advanced ML processing at the edge and in my data center, I would be able to order the necessary hardware from HPE GreenLake and have it ship with the software I need pre-installed and managed by Ezmeral. That's what I would want. Is that the thing I'm actually getting? I have no idea. Now, the one thing that gives me pause about this is, as someone who's used HPE products for a long time, I can say that while they design and build really solid hardware, and I believe in the hardware that they give me, from switches to servers to storage, one of the things that they've never been great at is designing software. We all remember what happened with Helion, and that was their OpenStack platform that fell apart. There were previous products like CommandView that was pretty awful. Prior to OneView, they had this Matrix thing they tried to put together, which was not great. So just generally speaking, HPE has not done the best with software design, development, and deployment. It's not their strong suit. It's not what I would go to them for. And they're basically plunking down Ezmeral as this giant software package. And my immediate concern is, how well is this developed? How well is it deployed? Some of these are acquisitions, and so I would trust those a little bit more, because the reason they were acquired is because it was probably a software company building this stuff. But I would be most hesitant to use their container management platform or their AI and ML analytics platforms, because I don't know what the pedigree is behind that software. Is it actually well developed, or is it kind of a hodgepodge mess like we've seen before? That all remains to be seen, but I'm trepidatious about it at best. So, HPE, if you're listening and you want to give me a briefing and tell me more about how I'm wrong on these two fronts, I would love to do that. Reach out. You can find me on Twitter, find me on LinkedIn. But that's all of the time I have for today. I may have mentioned yesterday that I am going to be going on vacation for the next 2 days. So I'm going to try to pre-record the videos for those 2 days today. So that's going to be an Edge video and going to be a video about HashiCorp Vault. So I'm hoping to get those done today so I can just post them while I'm away. So that'll do it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. Please, share and subscribe if you don't mind. I really appreciate that, getting some more visibility about what I'm doing. And until next time, stay healthy and stay safe, everybody. Thanks.